Going here. It's 5:01 my time. It's 7 p.m. Eastern, so we did this a little early today, but hopefully a lot of people will be able to jump on as we go. So again, my name's Tammy. I'm the fearless mama. I'm here with my fearless cat. That sounds funny. Fearless friend cat. And her and I are going to be talking here tonight, and we're super excited because we're just getting to know one another. And that's the cool part about Get Fearless Freedom is you don't have to know people. You can do the marketing strategies. You can work our business and how I teach and train how to generate leads. And then all of a sudden you'll connect with that person. And it's like, wow, the universe actually, I believe, was conspiring when I met Kat because we immediately became fast friends. And so we have a lot in common. And I feel like tonight it's probably going to be even more. We're going to be like, wow, we really have a lot in common. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about how she found out about Get Fearless Freedom as the exact strategies that I teach and train. It was off of my YouTube channel. And that's what right now I'm live on my YouTube channel. So, and Rob, I think you're co-host. So as people come on, if they can just stay muted, that would be great. That way we can have a great conversation with Kat. So anyway, so she came through my YouTube, she saw that, she went to my 7-minute video, and then she dialed the callback number, the hotline that we have for everybody. And so I want everybody to understand. I never did any selling, telling, bugging Kat. She literally saw what I had and she immediately joined after I spoke to her on the phone. And we had a great conversation. So there's always those 3 steps. And I've been doing the 3 steps for 12 years. And so it's just a habit for me. So I just do it and rinse and repeat. But it's always fun because this is humanizing the digital realm. It's always fun to get to know the members behind the scenes. And so Rob and I, we've been interviewing people, especially people that take right off and take off with this. And boy, have you, Kat. And so if you can tell everybody a little bit about yourself, why you like the Get Fearless Freedom movement. We call it a freedom movement because it's really what it is. It's financially made myself and my family in the past few years financially free. And that's my goal, is to have others do the same. So if you can just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and if anyone has any questions or whatnot, we can take questions at the end. So thank you for coming here tonight, Kat.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm at the age where there is a lot of background. So I can't start from the beginning, but I start with a little bit, like, so also to show that we can overcome, and I never overcame it. I will never overcome what I had to experience, but it still makes us stronger. So 6 years ago, I have 3 children, right? That's 3 boys. I'm a boy mom. And
Okay.
6 years ago in January, my oldest son had a fatal car accident. So that was completely unexpected and threw my life into the garbage, so to speak. For 4 years, I wasn't even able to talk at all about it. It was horrible, like getting myself back to something where I can speak about it. I still get tears into my eyes, but I can talk about it. And so after 4 years, I participated in a leadership coaching program,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't get around talking it. Went on from January on, like, the day 3 days after he passed, basically the fourth anniversary of his passing, until May. And there were a lot of opportunities to cry a lot.
Oh,
And
yes.
so I came to the point of, at the end of this series of coaching, I came to the point of, I have to accept the unacceptable. And especially because it was such a shock. There was nothing leading up to this tragedy. It was such a shock and trauma, his passing, because it was a car accident. There was not anything leading up to that. It was like this, really swallowing this pill that this happened was like almost impossible for me. So then I did this training, which really helped me a lot. And the year after this, I did a short Tony Robbins training, which helped again. So that was then really getting into something we can call acceptance, and then taking the next step. Like, okay, so now this is where I am at, right? So I can't bury myself because of this. I
Hmm.
still have more sons, and I get to take my life into my hands and start something and live again, right? So, and in his coaching program, I got to the point of, okay, now it's time to create something new and step out. And the one positive thing I learned really was during these first 4 years, there was this nihilism and numbness, right? So what do I care about anything, right? So this
Hmm.
happened. What do I care about anything that happens right now? Nothing really mattered to me, and that left something positive. That left the fearlessness. That left the what does it matter to me what people think about me, right? It really doesn't matter. And this, you know what I mean? So this, which was first so numbing, now has a positive trace. Like I don't care too much what people think, right? They are not going to pay my bills. It's not going to help
Hmm.
me if they
Hmm.
think what they think, right?
Hmm.
So, and then I started to get into network marketing, which was into health and wellness. I have been in health and wellness my entire adult life. So that was like an easy thing, especially holistic health. And I was not unsuccessful, although it was pretty hard, especially as I didn't know a lot of people. And I did this. And this year I came across you on YouTube and several other programs, which I looked into. I thought like, okay, let me see. I want to have something that's more like something that's giving me 100% reseller right, like the master reseller right, and still with a good community. I don't want to be completely on my own. I need a little bit of help. I don't have a lot of experience in marketing and advertising. And with Get Fearless Freedom, I saw the community, and especially I saw you and Rob being there for us as your members. And I thought that's the right thing to do. I love the program. Then we spoke on the phone. I called the 800 number, which is on the sales page, and it was fantastic. And I'm so happy to be here. That's that's
That's
like the short
amazing.
version.
Wow, that's really incredible. And that makes me feel good to know that I am that kind of like that guide because I'm like you. I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life too. I think a lot of people realize, at certain ages, you're going to experience, heartbreaks and soul stains and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like that, when people do understand that this is a community of like-minded people, but at the same time, we have things that we've gone through. And I didn't know that about you, and I didn't know that about your family, and my huge condolences. I'm very, very sorry for your loss. I can't imagine it. And then when I tell people about my story about losing over 15 homes to foreclosure in our personal home, I was like you, Kat. For about 4 or 5 years, I was numb. I was walking around. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't quite sure of it. And then I found this space, and I feel like the space of this, yes, it might be a website, but it's also humans. We're human on the other side. When people start talking about AI, I actually kind of cringe. It's actually 5:10 on a Wednesday, February 12th. This is not AI. This is real people, and I care about people. And things like what Eric even said to me in a messenger today, for example. He's like, Tammy, I talked with your son one time, and you and Rob are, really great people, and I really appreciate that. So, it gets me a little emotional thinking that, Kat, you went through that, and then now you're here, and now you're going to be helping other people. And people need to know your story. They
And
really need to know your story that, yes, they see Kat having success. She just joined Get Fearless Freedom, everyone. She literally just joined in January, end of January. We're only at the 12th, and she's making sales, but she had to go through that growth. She had to go through that growth like I did, okay? For the first 2 years of my online digital marketing experience with these systems, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have a coach. And I would just stay up. I told my kids this. I would stay up until 2 and 3 in the morning trying to figure out what converts, what works. Is it YouTube? Is it Vimeo? Is it, what video platform is going to convert for me? And I didn't want to do video. Okay. So I didn't want to do video, but think about if I didn't do video. Think about it. That wouldn't have brought Kat into my life. So I
No,
had to get
telling
out
you.
of my shell, okay? And I had a lot of good people behind me. A lot of people surround me, and they like what we do, and they love what we do. And there's one thing you just got to realize is that if you have something in your life that happened and it's bad, it's then get help. Because there is help out there. But I went to a Tony Robbins, I call them concerts. And that was back in 2017. And I had a lot of things that happened to me. Do you remember that, Eric? He's shaking his head. I don't know how long some people have, worked with me or, known me, but I have gone through my own personal development. I had to. And I come across on my X file, and I'll show you everybody here. And this is one thing that I think a lot of people have to realize is that the bonus of actually working online and knowing what you can do is like, and Rob shared this before, but look at the person on the left. That used to be me in
Wow.
2015. I lost 100 pounds, and that's when I launched the Fearless Mama, you know? And so I'm just one of those people where, I like to share and be vulnerable. And the more vulnerable that you are, and that's on my ex, but the more vulnerable that you are and that you share your personality, the more money you're going to make. It's actually just it's a side tool. That's all it is. It's a resource to help you to be able to reach other people, to be able to help them, you know? So don't be shy is what I tell people all the time. Don't be shy. And like Kat said to me the other day, and I loved it. She's like, we're fearless, right? And I said, yes. She's like, well, then what's people's problems? That was coming from her, but you know what? She's gone through that. She's gone through a tragedy. I know my good friend Chris here. She lost her husband last year, for example. So I know, and I've lost a lot of good friends myself, and then in these past 4 years, and it has been tough. It's been tough. I've coached a lot of people. I lost a doctor and a dentist, or excuse me, a dentist and then his wife. They passed away last 2 years ago now. So it will happen in your life, but you know what? You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. You're on this Zoom here tonight because you want change. You literally want change. You want to know, literally, you want to learn how to connect the dots, and that's what we're doing. And so, Kat, I mean, you've done fabulous. You are fearless, and you put out content and you put out videos. You're going to have this video for your channel. I'm here to support everybody. And I'm here to help you guys learn the 3 steps. And we leverage the system like Rob talks about on Mondays. We don't have to again, Kat, did I ever call you up or cold call you and said, hey, Kat, you got to join this?
You gotta join. No, you did not. No, I really came through the videos, and I would like to add something that's so crucial in our lives, because we often let the circumstances define our mood, right? And what this taught me too is that the happiness I have to make the choice. It's my choice if I want to be happy and in a positive vibe, in a high energy level. The circumstances are not always great, and pushing ourselves into a good mood is so helpful, to be attractive and help people join and find the kindness, see the kindness. I can only encourage you not to let the circumstances define you and your frequency, right?
That's important. Yeah, it's really true. And last year, I mean, I don't know if you even know about this, Kat, but last year, last January 31st is the day I took my husband to the hospital, Rob and I.
That was a big
Actually, Rob
deal.
wasn't home. I had to drive him in the truck, and it was like the longest 2 minutes ever to the hospital. And it was like maybe 5 minutes away. It was like the longest 5 minutes away. And I had to drive my husband to the hospital. And because he was honestly almost ready to pass out. And I saved his life. And it was a really tough year for our family, 2024. While we just launched the callback in February, Chris remembers it. We just launched the callback service in February. And I was so grateful that I have this system though, because it was running in the background. And I couldn't believe that I actually literally made money with it, you know, hey, welcome, Robert Fraser. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. But I just couldn't believe the fact that this whole thing was happening to me. I was like, why is this happening to Bob? And it would go through my mind like, but I thought I've taken good care of him as a wife. See what I mean? We've been married for 35 years,
Wow,
together for 37.
that's
So
fantastic.
I've known him since I was 20. So there you go. That gives you my age. But, I just want people to understand that things can come and go and things can happen. But I have to say that the internet marketing world and digital products and the digital, you know, realm has literally pretty much saved my family's bacon in a lot of ways. See? And I'm so glad I relaunched it, in February of 2023, because Rob and I we were like coming up with ideas like, well, should we get into this other company? Should we do Nope, we're gonna relaunch Get Fearless Freedom with higher levels so people can make more money. So we relaunched the 500 level and then the 1,000 level, and the 1,000 level actually, Kat, has a lot of mindset training. Would you say that you work on yourself more than you do on your business, would you say? Would you
I
happen to
worked
say?
way more on myself. I had to work a lot on myself. There was a lot of trauma to work through. And yeah, I worked a lot on myself, very
Yeah,
much. I'm also on a spiritual level working on myself, but especially also these coachings helped me a lot and continuously. I mean, I continuously go listen to things, and I like what you have in the back office, of course. It all helps, right? I think without self-development, it's hard to get to success. The strategies you learn for yourself and know yourself, the better you know yourself, and then also can change habits we have built, and we have so much accumulated over the years, but especially in our childhood, we are all have our conditioning. And if we don't get a chance to really look at our conditioning, and maybe we have a mindset of scarcity or whatever mindset we might have, most people I find out have the thing in their subconsciousness like, I'm not enough, right? Almost everybody has this to some extent.
yep,
And getting this resolved is huge. It's huge because now we can allow ourselves to have the money coming in, have the abundance. It's not just money, it's the abundance in general, right? It's the good relationships, it's abundance in general. Money is just part of it,
that's
right?
true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you allow yourself to have a $2,000 sale. You allow yourself to have a 500, $1,000 sale. You allow it, and the
Or worth
universe
it. You're worth.
conspired to
Yeah.
bring those people in front of you. Like when the first year that I got into this business, I wrote myself for a check for 100 grand, and I looked at it in the morning and I looked at it at night. I've probably shared this before with people. And I says, you know what? And I was down to my last 50 bucks in the bank. So no one tell me that, but and like I said, our story was we lost, and that's why I gained 100 pounds, because I got so depressed. And my story was that we lost the homes to foreclosure. My kids didn't even know about it. We moved out west. Rob didn't know about it until they were a little older. And then we sat down and explained it to them why the bank took our house. So I had that burning desire in my belly. I had fire in my belly. And I said, you know what? I'm going to come back from this. And I did. So when we moved back to New York, the second time, we bought a house, that was actually on a foreclosure listing. We still love real estate. We're probably going to have a real estate module type thing as we advance through Get Fearless Freedom, because my son and my husband do that too on the side besides their auctions. So they're into the flipping business, but that's what Get Fearless Freedom is about. I didn't want it to just be about lead generation, because I personally like, assets and things like that, because I went from having zero to wanting something, because I said I deserve it. So with you though, Kat, I felt like we had that connection right away, and I was like, geez, she hasn't even been in the United States for how long?
Six,
Six years,
little
right?
over, yeah, a little over 6 years now.
So can you tell everybody about where you were born and your background? Because that's fascinating to me to have
Yeah,
someone come
I
over
was
from the
born
United
in
Germany.
Berlin, West Berlin back then. Back in the day, it
Wow.
was West and East. So I'm from West Berlin. And it's a funny thing because my aunt, the sister of my dad, she relocated to the Bay Area after World War II with the soldier she met in Berlin. So it
Really?
was always this connection to especially California. And I told my parents when I was 3 years old, and I remember this, I have this really in my memory. I was born in the wrong place.
Did you say that?
So
Yeah.
yes, I said, I think I was like, I mean, with 3 years, you don't think much about what you think. So the reaction was not good. I never said that again.
Oh,
But
I
it took
bet.
it
So
took me
yeah,
about
because
half.
my husband was asking me to ask you where you what part of Germany, because
Yeah,
he was stationed over in Garmisch,
yeah,
Germany.
I know. I then for many years lived close to Munich, so I know Garmisch very well too. But
Okay.
yeah, so that was the first thing. There was probably a karmic connection to California. I don't know, something like that, right? So that was there, and then it still took me about half a century before I finally came because life happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
and when I did always loved a lot of traveling, and it's very common in Europe to do a lot of traveling. So Europe, I saw many places, and then after I studied pharmacy. I'm a doctor of pharmacy, and then I added holistic pharmacy to my fields. And then after I was done and worked for a little while and had a little bit of money in my bank with my back then boyfriend, we went for half a year to South Africa, which was an amazing experience. Was like in this transitioning period of time after the apartheid. I wouldn't want to go, didn't want to go through, while there was still the apartheid, but then we went there. It was amazing. I loved South Africa. The wildlife was fascinating. We went there for half a year. So that was the traveling. Then the next year we came from Vancouver, the entire West Coast down to Los Angeles and back up to fly back. So that was another big trip. So traveling was always a thing. And my connection to California, although I didn't visit here all the time, was always there. Then at some point, I came with my youngest son for a month here, which was beautiful, fabulous. And then finally, about 6.5 years ago or so, I relocated here. And I
Okay.
guess it was my childhood dream. It was my karma to come here. And I'm quite happy to be here.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
love
want to go back.
California.
I'm going to go visit, but I'm not going to go back.
Ah, okay. See, isn't that funny? Because my husband, when he was in Germany, he wanted to be back here in the States, and that was in 1988. And he said, I want to move to California. Well, we got pretty close. We're one state over.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, and then I lived like for many years in not in Munich, but close to Munich. That's where I met my ex-husband. The story was not so great, and then I got out of that, or he got out of it, however we want to say that. Unfortunately, I was not so lucky to find my soulmate right away. But
Okay.
now I got him, so that's good. Better late than never.
Right, right. Sometimes that happens that way, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
So
really
yeah, so
awesome.
now here I am, fearless.
Fearless, yes. And so you loved
Moving
the
forward.
word,
Yeah.
and you're getting to know everybody. And on this coming Monday, we're gonna have by the way, Rob, I forgot to hit recording, so you're gonna have to take this off my YouTube and give it over to Kat. But yeah, so we still got a recording. But on Monday, Kat's gonna be doing the official presentation overview for everybody on Monday and with Marybeth. So that's gonna be awesome. And that's the day that we have a lot of people that come on and want to see the presentation. So, but yeah, to sum it up, I mean, we have literally just, like I said, begun. And I mean, and we've relaunched this 2 years ago, and there's still people that haven't heard about it. But the community, I just love the community. Everybody is just so amazing. We have people that have no clue how to set anything up, which is great because we have Rob that can do that. In fact, Rob set up your system, right, Kat? Is
Oh yeah,
that
that's right. Yeah, I got in at the $2,000 level. I went all in, right? I thought like, of course I thought about it and went through everything. And then I also heard about the bonus you were giving at this moment. And I thought, okay, let me go all in. And I got the Chromebook fully set up by Rob, which was amazing.
yep.
And now thanks Thank you, Rob, again. And then a week or 2 weeks later, he helped Kelly setting up her a little bit, showing, and that was actually really good because now I know how to do changes, and now I'm going to be able to do that too. So that was beautiful too.
Hmm.
Fantastic training. Yeah, I love the training we get. It's fantastic. It's really, the program is not just what we see on the presentation. It's all this community. It's all this training, in addition, the live training and the help and support we get, which is invaluable. And that's something you can see, right, on the slides. If I look at the slides or the presentation, this
Yep.
extra training it's priceless.
It
Because
is.
I can come and say, Rob, I got stuck here, or to support whatever, give me a little hint. And I don't need a lot of hint, but I need a little hint maybe here and there, right? And then I can go ahead. It's fantastic. I love it. And
Yeah, that's
for me,
great.
that
And
was
so
really
what
fun.
made you decide? I'm sorry, go ahead.
That was one of the most, because there are other programs out, and there are programs that sound good, and I'm sure they are somewhat okay, but this kind of direct contact I saw nowhere. There, it's like you can be happy if you can get email support, right? Like within maybe 24, 48 hours, but getting a chance to really one-on-one talk to someone, you or Rob or support, it's like really, it's hard. You don't find this anywhere else, I would say. It's very unique, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, it's very true. And I mean, I delegate. Obviously, I know how to delegate. I mean, my background is my husband and I had up to 22 people working for us at one point. This was before 9/11. So we had a mortgage broker company for 15 years. And then real estate, we did 50 flips in like 5 years. It was crazy. We were so crazy busy in our 30s. And when we were raising the kids, and I think because when I was growing up, we just coasted in to my parents' house, like back in New York. Western New York is actually where I was born and raised. And I didn't want that. You know, I didn't want that. I had an uncle that would be so grumpy on Sundays. And I'd say to my mom, but why is Uncle Wayne so grumpy? He doesn't want to go. And she says, because he doesn't want to go to work Monday. And I says, really? But how is that any way to live? I said to her, I said, and I'm from a blue collar. So see, you gotta understand something. I had to change my paradigm. I had to change my stinking thinking, way back then. When I said I'm gonna be self-employed, I wanna be home for my kids. Now I'm gonna be home for my granddaughter, which is coming in any day. Amanda thinks she's gonna have her on the 14th in 2 more days. I'm like, okay, you think you're gonna have the child
Valentine's,
in 2 more
baby.
days? We're gonna be celebrating everybody pretty soon. The fearless
Yeah.
grandmother. But hey, good. I'm glad Marybeth, my good friend Marybeth, just hopped on. But and you and Kat are gonna have a blast on Monday. I know you guys are. And that's the thing, just have fun. I mean, life is too short, obviously. We all know this. Kat unfortunately knows it firsthand. And again, my huge, condolences to you. I've talked with people before, and they've told me about their story. And that's one thing about me when I'm talking to a person on the phone. I was telling Wyman today, just call the person. They put their pant leg on one at a time, just like all of us. There is no reason to be fearless. There's fearful. There's every reason to be fearless, because if you can reach out to 5 people bare minimum, right? And we got inbound leads coming in all the time to us. And if you can just reach out to that person and say, hey, we are helpful. If you're stuck anywhere, we'll get it figured out. There's not probably one thing that a person has asked me on any of the Zooms that I've ever done that I don't know. It's just because I've gone on and I've learned about it. I've gone to Google, and I've figured it out. Like last year, Kat, before, and Mary Beth was here, but last year, and so was Chris, that I'm scanning everybody's name. But last year we had a hiccup with the autoresponders where they wanted us to do paid email. So Rob was up until 3 o'clock in the morning one night with the programmer, our programmer that helps us with this program, and he says there's got to be a way we can get our own domain names and emails. And they talked about it and they got it figured out. And that was actually last March, you know. So that was when all this stuff was going on with Bob and all sorts of hecticness, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. And
It
they got
always,
it out.
everything
And
comes
we didn't
together
even
always.
charge. What's that?
I said it's always like this. Everything comes together, right? It's
together.
like one thing and then the next.
Well, yeah, and I have a very smart programmer and he works for a bank, high security bank. So like my system is not set on anything. It's not set on ClickFunnels. It's not set on anything, you know. I was telling Rob today, I said it'd be so fun to have a fearless event because then we could all meet up and everybody could meet. Marybeth and I met in person before, and so has Valerie and I. But you know, the system has been working for us for, you know, 6 years, and we've never had any downtime with it. And I've made so much money with it, you know, with the simple pages. And I just want people to realize that, you know, I've put my time and my effort into it so you didn't have to. So all you do is come in like Kat, you didn't have to program anything, right? You
No,
just did a couple
no,
hookups and you're on your way.
I'm not a programmer. I don't know coding.
Me neither. We just like to make people happy and bring them on board, you know, and make
Yes,
the money. You know,
yes,
congrats to
I
Mary
love
Beth.
that.
She's
That's
doing
also
great
a
too.
takeaway. Sorry, a takeaway from me. It's like helping others is just so fulfilling. I mean, of course, I want to make money. I want to be abundant, but helping others to achieve the same is just so fulfilling. And I can't wait to see Kelly thriving and Chuck Chuck making money. I really
Hmm.
can't. So beautiful.
Absolutely. And there's a different Kelly on here, right? Because your Kelly, I don't think, is on here. And then there's
No.
another Kelly from last year, I believe. So welcome back, Kelly. So she was brought in from another um, couple that actually brought in a bunch of people. And so is Robin. But yeah, that's the thing. I like people once they plant their flag here, they can learn at their own pace. They can make it, you know, start just cranking in the money. I mean, it just really like for me, like I said, I didn't like my kids to have to go through what I went through as a child and have to struggle and hey, can we go to McDonald's, you know, things like that. And it's just like so that's the reason why I, you know, I created this is so that people can have those big chunks of change coming in. My husband kind of got me kind of addicted to high ticket. So if you guys wonder why did I want the 2000 level, it's because he taught me how to flip properties. One of my first checks was $56,000 and I didn't think I was deserving of it. But he told me, "Absolutely, Tammy, you're deserving of it." And so, you know, and we tell our son and our daughter that all the time. You guys are deserving of the money, you know?
Yes.
And like there's a gentleman that I listen to and I would love to have him at a live event. His name's Marshall Silver. He's very good. Look him up. He actually has a turning point event. And I went to one of his events. So, and he was always saying, "You absolutely deserve it." And you absolutely, if you're on the phone with someone, they absolutely need to get into this community. That's how I posture myself. I'm like, well, what are you doing now? What kind of support do you have now? Nothing. No support. Okay, then come here. Because you know we meet every single week, right? And they're like, no, I didn't know that. And I'm like, well, when you get on your own email list, you will know it. And then when you get onto the members list, you'll know it. Because I sent out an email today. That's why we have people here, for example. You know, people can see that we're actually live. And then I sent it to everybody's list today. So we did this impromptu Zoom because I feel like everybody should have. I don't know what it was telling me. Something was pushing me and saying, you got to get Kat on this interview. Even though you're busy, Amanda's going to have her baby in a couple days. You just got to, everybody's got to hear her story. You know, I just knew there was something that you could share with everybody tonight. And so I'm super, super happy that you came on and super grateful that you came on to share that because I know it's not easy. The
No.
first time I shared my story about losing my home was Mary Beth was there. It was actually live in Pittsburgh. It was hard for me, wasn't it, Mary Beth? I stood up in front of people and I got choked up and I'm like, got to get through this, you know? And when you can get through it and then you say it, it's released. You know what I mean? Like I released it. I'm like, okay, so I lost my home to foreclosure. That's okay. I can start over. You know, I don't know how many times I've started over in my life, you know? So I get it. I get it. If anyone's on here and you're trying to start over or you're trying to figure out where to start, I get it. I totally get it. You know, you're not talking to someone that don't get it. And same with Kat. You know, you're not talking to someone that doesn't understand.
Oh
So
yeah.
but I
We are
appreciate you
we are
sharing your
familiar with
story.
pain and struggle for sure.
So that happened how many years ago?
Also 6 years ago. That was like around the same time frame I then came to the United States.
Okay. And for those that just jumped on, and Mary Beth, I don't think heard it, she lost a child in a tragic car accident. So it was very hard on her.
Yeah, he was 22 years old when he passed, and yeah,
Mm,
it was definitely, it's still a shock, it's still when sometimes I have these moments, it's like just getting it, it's like in my body, this trauma and this shock. And it was really a weird thing when my youngest son turned 23, so 1 year older than my oldest son would ever be. That was like, oh my God, now both my other sons are older than my oldest son. It was like a really, phew, another
mhm.
weird experience. Yeah.
A lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, if I can do it, you can do it.
That's very true. That's exactly it. That's what I tell people all the time, you know. It's just like with video when people say, "Ah, I can't do video, Tammy." And I'll go like this. I'll get them on a Zoom and I'll say, "All right, you sure about that?" And then I'll show them my before and then my after. I'll say, "You sure you don't want to get on video?"
Right.
Right?
Wow.
And they're like,
Yeah.
"All right, point taken. All right, I'm going to do video tonight. I'm going to sit
My
down."
mom inspired me
Hmm.
personally to get on video and even Zooms, you know. That's the thing. It's like everyone has to have a either a pain point or an inspiration point. What is it? You know, what are you gonna choose? And if you're thinking, and we all think, you know, we have to change the frequency of our thinking because if you already are where your pattern are and you're not enough, I'm not making money, I gotta get money, all the lack and the lack of, then you're not going to get it, right? So you got to change it where the opportunity will come. I will be successful. The money will come to me once that opportunity's there. So like mom and I, when we work together, we bring people and you're wondering why do we have these audiences? Why do we have it's because we put that actual elbow grease in and said the flow, the laws of the universe are just going to allow great people to come. And the people that are also to come are people that are hurting. You know, people are there's pains out there that we are not telling each other that we go through. And so when there's light, where do the fish go? They go to the light, right? Some of them go to the light. And so with me, my pain point was very similar to Kat. So I lost my best friend due to an illegal immigrant that was drunk in Arizona, and he took his life just like that. So I changed 2 years ago when I heard that. I got the call from my friend, one of my good friends, Cordell, and he said that to me, and I froze and I basically plopped on the ground. And I barely like knew him, so I can only imagine for anything, you know, that you go through. But
Hmm.
when I heard that, I changed my perspective that I'm going to live in the now. I'm going to thank God every day that I actually get br a breath in my lungs, or I breathe, you know, lung or air in my lungs, I'm at. And when I did that, mom said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Well, Mom, it's been a week. I haven't driven. I just drove. I didn't want to because I was afraid to get behind the wheel." And she said, "Well, you're fearless. We are fearless." And I said, "Oh," I was living in Las Vegas at the time. And she says, "Just you're okay. Grace is upon you. You are in your control and you know things the way you know." And I said, "Well, I understand that, Mom, but I don't want to get back behind my wheel." She says, "Look, you are chosen for maybe a reason that you are still here, right?" And it clicked with me because when guys are on this Zoom, you're actually here. Chris is still alive for a reason. Mary Beth, Carolyn, Dr. Kelly, Robin, Paul, Royal, we're all here. So we take a great gratitude in that. And so when I did that, I was about 50 pounds on this body overweight. And mom said, "Where are you going?" And I'm tracking your location. You know, she has, we have a family iPhone plan. And, it's our family thing. So it's cool. I'm the one that set it up. I'm the one that makes sure we're all safe. And so mom says, I'm noticing you're on a mountain. I said, yeah, I am. I said, I'm on a mountain because I'm in meditation that I'm grateful. I'm very grateful, number one. But number two is I'm actually beginning my health journey. And she goes, well, how are you doing that? I said, Mom, did you check the email? I got a $500 sale. She goes, "Oh, yeah, yeah, you deserve that freedom. Go ahead. You just made more literally in 1 hour than a person could work their whole week with a $500 sale." And so
That
mom
was the
says,
year we launched the
Go
500
enjoy that
level.
hike. You got this, whatever." So I'm up literally on top of the Las Vegas mountains and I'm looking over the city. Not only I'm grateful to be alive after the phone call, but I know I'm in the frequency of allowing great things. So I was like, okay, I just made the sale. Mom remembers that. And we were going to go out to dinner, Mom, remember,
Hmm.
to Texas Roadhouse. Remember that night? And
Yep.
Keith joined, and I was like, that's incredible. I just got a $500 sale. So when you put your frequency in the accepting of great things, even though there's going to be things that happen in life, you never know what I'm possibly telling you might inspire Kathleen. She might just go, "That's it. All right, I'm going with
I'm
Mary
gonna
Beth."
join Mary Beth
So
tonight. Yep.
you have to have keys that unlock you. Kat
Yep.
unlocked one for me of even more gratitude tonight. She don't know it. So, there's things that we have to finesse. We have to work with each other to create and support each other. And the last thing you want is you want to be in that frequency of like, I don't know if I'm worthy of that because I know I'm worthy of life, right? I mean, the fact that I'm 30 years old and I got to live 3 more years more than my friend, I'm so grateful, right? And then I see people that they're complaining and they're 90 years old. I was at a brunch the other day and I see this old man, he's like, "Ah, man, I'm 88 years old." I'm thinking, let's do some math on this one. 88
Yeah.
minus 27. 61 years he has on that, my friend. So there's never a time to complain. There's a time to be grateful. So when I see that, I say, guys, now is the time. Now is the time to join into a community that we grow together. We have our pain, we do all have that, but now we're on our purpose. We are on our purpose. It's a
Hmm.
pain to purpose Zoom. And that's what we're going to have. We're going to have our lovely friend Kat, lovely friend Mary Beth, and they're going to launch that tomorrow, that next week. They're going to have that on the 17th. So please write on your calendar if you're watching this as a replay, this podcast. Jump on for those lovely ladies for the 17th, and they're going to have an incredible Zoom, and we're going to get this rocking and rolling even more. But
Hmm.
it's so cool to hear everyone's story. But it's also like you see that people are human, right? We're all human. And so my dad actually inspired me a lot, more than most has ever inspired. I told my dad one day, I said, my best friend, my best man will be my father at my wedding one day. And he said, really? I said, yeah, because you've inspired me more than you would think. He instilled in me that you are going to go for it. And now it's almost switched where I'm like, more like, Dad, I believe in you. I know we can do this. So I take, when there's someone weak in the family or someone that's strong, we kind of help each other, right? So
Hmm.
that's where
Absolutely.
Mom and we've worked together. And like Mom said last year, we know where we knew obviously the feeling. We knew feeling of the lowest to low. And so that's where you have to get your comeback. You have to have your Rocky story. And so with me was an event that indirectly affected me, but it made me click like automatically. And it
Yep.
was like, maybe this Zoom is an automatic click for you guys. You know, um, Everyone's story has, there's a purpose for it. And one time I never used to get this, and until I actually started to go through life events, but they said you meet every single person for a reason. And I used to go, no, that is absolutely not true because I didn't want to meet my ex. I didn't like cats laughing, I didn't want to meet this. I didn't, no, but there's a reason, actually, technically, why you met that person because they either are going to help you. They're either going to teach you a lesson, they're going to inspire you, they're going to make you not want to be that type of person or want to be that type of person. So it's
Hmm.
ultimately you that are the actual deciding factor. And
Absolutely.
so that's why with mom, like when she said, okay, you're really getting into your health journey, she told me, guys, I'm gonna go back, give the mic over, throw it over to mom. But she says, Rob, I've been telling you all these years to go to the gym. So,
Yep. Yep. But it made you so grateful that day when you realized that, oh my gosh, I got to change some things. And I think it was because, and this is what I've always told people, I actually feel like I believe this community has helped me keep the weight off. Of course, I had a bad knee, so now I'm trying to lose 25 more pounds, because you put it on when you can't walk. But, good news is I've lost a few. So since I've, had my knee surgery, Kat, you probably don't realize in September 9th, I had a full knee replacement. So I'm still recovering from that. So, but I just think that, when you have like these Zooms, like you have accountability because you show up. And then it's like, oh, okay, let's get a bunch of people on. So, that's what I think that this community has done for me. And I'm so glad that you saw the video. But if you have anything that you want to share with people on the Zoom, what would it be? What would be the number one thing? Let's say someone hasn't, joined or they're not engaged with us on the Monday Zooms. What would you say to that person listening in here tonight?
Yeah, the one thing I already said is that we have the support. You are never alone. Like what many network marketing companies claim that that you have your own business, but you are not on your own. That's something that's not exactly true in most network marketing companies, as far as I know. But here it's really true that you are never alone. You have the support. And the other thing, it's it makes it just so much easier. It doesn't take years to build up some kind of income that then can sustain a lifestyle. This is possible almost from the beginning, that we can make high ticket sales. The ability of high ticket sales, I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And to make a living really soon. That's amazing. And another thing that's outstanding is that many people don't know, including me, didn't know that much about online marketing. It really teaches me how, step by step, the system you and Rob, you teaches me step by step how to go about it, how to get people on the capture page and opt in, and all of these steps that are necessary. And the Craigslist tool is just amazing. So all this is there, and it's the training, it's the combination. I can't say it's just one thing, but the one thing that's outstanding is you guys and the community. That's really completely outstanding.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've wanted to build a community for a long time. Like when I was working on my own, I was like, geez, this is like really lonely. And like really boring. Like a decade ago, they didn't have Zoom. They had a Google Hangout, and I started out on a Google Hangout, and then I went to Blab. They had something called Blab, and then they had, so I just think that Zoom is great because it does bring the communities together. It brings community together, and of course, Facebook group. But that's great from a perspective, and if you're listening in, I mean, it's really simple comp plan. And I did explain it today in our group, and it's very easy. You make money at the level that you join. So if you're at the 200 level and someone comes in at 200, you make 200. If you're at the 200 level, someone comes in at 2000, then it goes past you and it's like a pass up. So it goes to your sponsor, or if you're at the 500 level even, it'll go to the sponsor if you're not at the 2000. Now, in saying that with the compensation plan, I do agree with Kat because I was in a lot of network marketing companies and it took me months in order to make $2,000, you know? And my past 5 sales have been 2,000. So there's 10,000 right there. 10,000 bucks with 5 people. That's it. So when we relaunched the 2000 level back in July of last year, it was right before my surgery, was right around my birthday. My birthday's in July, and I launched the 2000 level. And I'm glad because so many people have had so many breakthroughs with it because of the training. And of course, Rob's going to have a training this month for those people that are at the elite level. That way they can get his, his advanced training. But I just want people to know that it's not network marketing, it's not MLM because Kat and I came from that and we're just like, no, we want instant payments. We love 500, 1,000, and 2,000 levels. And that way, it's much quicker. Again, yes, it's good to build up that residual, but it does take a while and it takes a lot of leads, a lot of big lists. So in order to do that, and I'm not knocking network marketing companies at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you that the compensation plan is a lot different here with Get Fearless Freedom. And of course, you can go to Kat's website and you can check it out because, of course, this is all about Kat here tonight and doing the interview with Kat. So check out her website. I'll have the link below in this video here too, as well for Kat. Again, I wanted to thank you here, for everybody coming tonight. It's been enjoyable. I'll go ahead and end the live stream. And then if anyone has any questions for Kat off of live stream, we'll
Thank
go
you
ahead
also
and
for me, for everyone coming. Thank you so much listening to my story. Thank you.
yes, that's absolutely correct. It's always exciting to hear when people take the fast action and have fast success. So I'll go ahead and end the live stream on my YouTube channel. And then if you have any questions for me, if you're watching this live or a replay on my YouTube, go ahead and just get a hold of me on my 800 number, which of course is on